I think when you become a mother, I'm sure that stands true for both the parents, but especially a mother, your whole life changes in every possible way your life can change.
We seem to judge people by their looks, by their social media appearances, by a couple of photographs and what they say and what they look like. And they are absolutely different, or they are much more than what it looks like.
I take it as a big blessing that now is the time where producers and writers and directors, and they're coming and they're showing their faith in me that I can. It's not about just carrying a film, it's about believing in your talent.
Because we both come from a background where earlier we were looking for work, just to work.
Yeah, I was
just
just
to
getting
get to
that. Yeah.
play some characters. And now, fortunately and by God's grace, we are in a space where we can actually select.
Hello and welcome to News18 Showsha. I am Shriyanka Mazumdar and I am in conversation with two of the most talented actors, and might I add, stunning, whose film Dhoom Dhaam is all set to premiere on Netflix on the 14th of February. I am delighted to welcome Yami Gautam and Pratik Gandhi. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
Thank you, Shriyanka. Thank you for this
You know,
welcome.
I watched the film last night and it's an absolute riot. Okay, tell me what drew you to the script, each of you.
Thank you. I believed, I heard that you'd watched it, and I was reserving your, I wanted to hear it, your first reaction, how you felt on camera. So I wanted to save that. That is the reason I didn't ask you off camera.
Oh, I
So
loved
thank
it.
you so much for expressing it. Exactly the same thing that drew me. You had a riot and I had a riot reading it. I think for me the whole film comes alive when I feel those pages turning over and all the characters doing what they're supposed to do. Everything you kind of see like a mini picture in front of your eyes in your imagination. If it's a well-written script.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought it was an absolute riot, and I thought it was something, a new modern age take on a genre which is kind of blurring, rom-com if I may say.
Yeah.
So to kind of have it more in a caper comedy kind of a, with a touch of that and a hint of romance and a hint of also today's time, how perceptions are can be deceptive, appearances are deceptive. I may put up a picture of, he may put up a picture of me doing something just to look cool or just like that, and you'll probably in a second be like, oh, she does this also. I may have attended just one class in my entire life, but I become a dancer in one day. So it's a little bit of all these elements, and music. I think that's also one of the key factors here. Music is something so important to especially to us Indians. So I thought, yes, a rom-com, but nothing should be typical. I think when it comes to that is what I'm looking in a script, and I'm hoping that we are breaking stereotypes and taking our cinema ahead, keeping the audience happy and entertained at the end of the day.
Pratik?
So I guess the reasons are the same reasons for me also. And I got intrigued by who's Charlie. Immediately when I started reading the film, in first 3 to 5 minutes, I guess we realize who's Charlie. And I get to say this line in different ways, the same line. Kaun sa Charlie? So it's a treat for an actor to create a character like this.
Yeah.
And as she rightly said, we are in a world where we seem to judge people by their looks, by their social media appearances, by a couple of photographs and what they say and what they look like. And they are absolutely different, or they are much more than what it looks like. So the film also talks about it very loudly and very clearly, that don't just judge them by their looks or by their...
that sort of forms the crux. Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway from the film, actually.
And that's how all the relationships are also, these days, that just have little patience.
So, speaking of scripts, there's something common between the two of you that I've noticed, is that you cherry pick your roles. From the beginning of your career till now, you've the characters are never seen before. The films, they just very quietly they walk away to glory, and they resonate with the audience. So how has that process also evolved for the both of you over the years?
You want to take?
I guess the process is absolutely organic, and I can say it for both of us, because we both come from a background where earlier we were looking for work, just to work.
Yeah, I was
just
just
to
getting
get to
that. Yeah.
play some characters. And now, fortunately and by God's grace, we are in a space where we can actually select from 4 or 5 scripts that
And
we
how
have.
gratifying is that? I mean, just to come all the
It's
way.
absolutely gratifying, where you become a first choice of your writers and directors and producers.
True.
And then when you can select something that actually resonates with you, something that actually excites you. So yeah, I mean, we both are that way in a very, very lucky space.
But do you look for something particular in your scripts even now? Like,
Surprise. That is what I always look for. Does it excite me as an actor? Does it excite me as an audience? See, घुमा फिरा के वही otherwise 4-5 genres हैं. You have your comedy, of course. You have your thrillers. You have your
Socio-political
dramas, intense dramas, and there are different derivatives of all these genres. But can you create something new out of it? Can you create something which is maybe it's the same conversation but in a different way, and can you engage the audience? Can you hold the audience?
very important that.
Right?
Yeah.
Not and be commercial at the same time. Now the meaning of, I feel, a big film and a small film, that is evolving. It's not just constrained to your budget. Of course, you have your big budget films and your mid budget films, but the film's success is primarily, for most of the films, I'd say, there's still room for certain kind of films, is dependent on your story, on your script. And if the script is good, you can see through that on screen, and that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a great script. I'm looking for a fantastic story. I'm looking for a really good character, something to again push the envelope, push the boundary. I struggle sometimes to find the right words because I hear everyone say the same thing. So I don't know what to say, and that's why I just leave it to the audience. It's their verdict in the end, that did you feel it or not. I can say 100 things right now, but it doesn't make any sense if it doesn't translate or transpire on screen. So that is what I'm looking for, where I have to speak less and do more. And so just like Koel, she's more of a doer than
Yeah, oh God,
oh,
yes.
she's a speaker too though. But yeah, I think
which brings me, that monologue. Absolutely fantastic, and I read that you did that in one take. So tell us a bit about that. What was your first reaction to that? I will not get into the specifics of it because, of course, it's one of the highlights of the film. But was it sort of because the way you delivered it, I have to ask you. But was there a sort of an, as a woman, was there sort of an emotional trigger also to sort of because that authenticity, it comes through.
thank you. And I think what I realized about monologues, I had one in a Thursday. This was again a 9-pager scene, and that emotion was entirely hinging on something very different, of course, from Dhoom Dhaam. But the core of what you're talking about, being a woman, I think is somewhere, as I said, we're all hovering around kind of in our, Koel is trying to say a similar thing in her own way, in her own style. Lena is saying something so intense she has her own backstory. I had a monologue in Article 370, which was again a very, very different kind of a film. And I think one of the most important things is I do not work it like, in my head it's never choreographed like there are going to be any multiple takes or multiple shots. It has to be delivered right in the first go, and in preferably in first take, I think, because I'm a bit of I feel your first is always again, it depends on actor to actor. Some actors warm up and eventually they get the right emotion. That's all right. That's absolutely to each his own. I feel my best comes in the first 2 takes, preferably the first take, especially when something is really coming from your heart, something which you're really feeling it. So you can't fake it. As you
can't.
said, you being a woman,
Yeah, you can't.
somewhere some of us may not be the entire monologue, but maybe 2 lines from it,
Bits
you
will resonate with
you'll
it.
resonate with it.
Yeah.
You'll connect with it. That's absolutely, that makes sense. So it's an amalgamation of trying to keep all those emotions balanced and to hear if not all, but as many perspectives as you can and roll into one. That's the beauty of writing,
That's
though.
true.
And then as an actor, I have to make it conversational. I have to make it simple enough to talk to you straight. There's nothing more, the beauty of being simple and straight.
Just
is
from the
best.
actor to the audience.
Absolutely, to the camera. And I think even in that monologue, the way he's reacted, there's a very small improvisation which we can't get into specific, and that improvisation of mine happened because of his reaction. That line was not that,
Okay.
I'm telling, don't look here and there, look at me. And when you're doing a monologue, you don't want that chain of thought to be broken.
Yeah,
You
of course.
can't,
There's a
because
flow.
There's a
Yeah.
flow. So nothing much can come in between.
In between, yeah.
It's a very fine line between rehearsing and then leaving it as if it's just, you've just made those lines,
Yeah.
right? You can't sound mechanical.
Yeah.
Then, so there's very little room for adding anything from your side. You can, maybe in terms of language here and there, but nothing much. But that little thing was right in the middle of it, I felt like, because of the way he gave his reaction. इधर-उधर क्या देख रहे हो? इधर देखो. Because obviously he's concerned, यार लोग अब इकट्ठा हो रहे हैं, अब कुछ ज़्यादा हो रहा है. And वो भी नहीं देखने दे रही हूँ मैं, इधर ही देखो. So that's the beauty, of course, also of give and take. When we think about monologue, it's not about just that those dialogues in one person. It's about that action reaction, and a good actor will always reciprocate and understand and give
Of
you
course.
that space. And if you can catch that. That
Then
little
it's a
harkat,
win-win.
It's absolutely a win-win. So thank you for making it a win-win.
And both these characters, they sort of when they come together, they barely know each other, which is again the beauty of the script. How they we see a glimpse of it in the trailer as well. So sort of that also one can draw parallels with actually arranged marriages. You just go into a relationship not knowing at all, and then you sort of discover each other and also discover yourselves in the process. So sort of it sort of resonates with how it happens in society as well.
Yeah, in real life
So,
also,
yeah.
in every relationship.
Yeah, every relationship actually.
Everywhere,
Yes,
I guess.
yes.
Because in the true self comes out in the most bizarre situation.
Yeah, that's true.
If you are pushed
Yeah.
against the wall, suddenly
Yeah.
your true self will come out.
Yeah.
You don't know otherwise
Yeah.
how would you react in that situation unless you are put in that situation.
True.
So I get that's how it is, and that's what happens with Veer and Koel in the film.
Yeah, and just about relationships, because of course the film's timing is perfect. It's for Valentine's Day, and of course, people will want to tap into that sentiment this week. It's all about love. But do you think when a film is releasing on OTT, and OTT has and now most people want to watch, consume content on OTT because it's it's very convenient, and it's just it's easy from the confines of your bedroom you watch. So how important is timing of the release of the film when it comes to OTT releases? Do you think timing at all matters, or is just content is king?
No, content is king, but still timing matters because you are actually dealing with a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
So it is good. I mean, you can never time the market, be it share market or the actual market of any business. It's very difficult.
I know
to
what the comment is. Arshad Mehta, boli
you can never time the market, right?
I can just imagine your timeline being bombarded on that.
But yes, because as you said that people are feeling that emotion more in this
Yeah.
time period, where something like this might resonate with their own emotion at that point. So it is more likely that they'll sit and watch, they'll click, they'll continue watching. So I guess yes, timing is important. Yeah.
Okay, and one last question to you, Yami, before we move on to a quick rapid fire. You know, you've recently embraced motherhood. Congratulations on that. And I remember doing that story when you broke that on Instagram, and what a beautiful name. You know, I just wanted to understand from you that now when you're choosing scripts, because, you know, of course, for a parent, be that a mother or a father, priorities change a little bit when you welcome a child into your lives. So now when you choose scripts, is it like, you know, this has to be absolutely worth my time? Because, you know, I will have to block the dates, I'll have to probably be away for a while. So do you factor that in now as a new mother?
I think when you become a mother, I'm sure that stands true for both the parents, but especially a mother, your whole life changes in every possible way your life can change. However you've been, whatever work you've done, however you are, that on one side. And this is a totally different, literally different phase of yourself, which you are also never prepared for. In the sense, of course, you're so happy. You're on top of the world. This is the biggest blessing. And this is so new to you. You know, there is no, and it's so, you're so vulnerable. You're so, because this is also something, the most important thing, and something which you only have to learn by yourself.
That's true.
Nobody teaches you. Of course, I'm there, my mom's there, everyone's there to help you, guide you. But it's going to be your journey with your baby. It's going to be, so that journey, the start is, you know, you, of course, you're nervous, there's so many things, there's so many factors. And at the end of the day, just those big eyes, you know, staring at you and just wanting love. And that's it. I think I can just be there and sitting there for hours and do nothing if it was really up to me. You know, that's, you wouldn't want to miss it for anything.
Of course.
Having said that, there are different roles, you know, we all have. But once a mother, always a mother.
Yeah.
Like my mother is a mother for life, because we still, as children, we're all grown up. We all have, my sister has her kid, my brother's all grown. But first call, anything happens, good, bad, whatever, mama. We all need mama in life.
Yeah.
So now I understand even more being a mother, and I'm in a profession where I need to be aware, where I need to be in the moment, audio visually. You know, it's a visual medium. It's a medium where you're all out there, and your choices, whatever you make in that room, it has an impact, which again, everyone's going to see it. You're inviting everyone to, literally in your world, in your professional world. It is not something which you create in an office, and it has a different kind of impact. We have a face.
Of course.
And now, having reached a point in my life, which, coming back to your first question in the beginning of the interview, I take it as a big blessing that now is the time where producers and writers and directors, and they're coming and they're showing their faith in me that I can. It's not about just carrying a film. It's about believing in your talent. It's about, for all your life, maybe we worked, we believe in ourselves. I've believed in me. But would you take that punt on me? I only have my work to prove. And there are gazillions factors in this industry which gets you that role. Now in today's time, you have social media, your, how many followers you have.
Followers, I was just going to get to that.
I thought it was a joke until it's not. And, what kind of perception you have in public, how big a star you are, how can you evaluate all these things? Of course, there's a generation, the OG generation, I think they were the biggest stars, but today, perceptions change like this. They can be bought, they can be made, they can be... So how do you build a credible name in this business? A name which is purely dependent on your talent, your work, what I bring to the table, what value do I have in this business? So that faith represents all these things. right? I may not be the most active person on social media otherwise. You may not know what I had in breakfast or where did I get an injury.
You both also don't go to town with the successes of your film. That is something bizarre that I've noticed that you...
That is something I may just try. I think we should work on it. I think, the way our films are, I think, working, and the way I think the audience, they really love us. I think we must celebrate it a bit more. We'll do it with Dhoom Dhaam.
We'll do it now.
So I think this is something which I'm sure my child, he'll respect rather, you know, me for that, and he's not going anywhere. He is going to be around. It's just that you won't see him. I mean, that's a very personal choice which Aditya and I have taken. I think a child deserves a childhood which every other child
away from the
needs to
prying
have,
eyes.
because it's the mind
because,
is
the cameras are just everywhere. They follow you.
It has a psychological impact, and we want him to just you know, enjoy this life, to enjoy this blessing. So all in all good. I think life is about balance. Have learned a lot of things the hard way. This also, I'm sure, we'll learn.
Wonderful. Quickly, I will just take one more minute of your time. Rapid fire, if you were in a crazy, chaotic situation like you find yourselves in the film, who would you call? Pratik, if you could start.
My brother.
And you?
My mother. And immediately I think, hello Aditya, I'm on the call. So.
Okay, if you could choose a superpower to help you get through a bad day, what would it be?
I think some good food, because there are times where I know food really makes me happy, but I don't know what to eat. I have some like 20 dishes in my mind. And if someone can figure that this is it, this is what will really make her happy. And it all stems down to my childhood memories, you know, the kind of food I've had growing up. So it's a little difficult to replicate that. So only if there was some power which can create those
comfort food.
Yeah, comfort food again. Same taste, nothing has to change. Same water also.
So, wonderful. Yeah. Pratik?
I would like to jump the time.
Ah, smart.
See? Again, Arshad bhai, so baat hai. Again, your timeline is going to be.
10 minute आगे चले जाते हैं.
What's the biggest difference between how marriages are shown in film and how they are in real life? Should be able to answer this, both of you.
I guess Dhoom Dhaam is the correct way to describe any marriage. Yeah.
Correct.
Before and after both.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure movie or a TV show?
I would say, I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure movie, but I love Andaz Apna Apna.
Yeah, but that's a common...
Oh, I love it too.
I mean, and
to watch it anytime.
Point that you want to say those lines while watching the film and laugh at your own performance. And Aditya has somehow recorded my performance.
Oh.
And oh man, what a film. And Paresh ji is legendary.
He's a riot.
Similarly, Hera Fairy is also one of those.
Hera Fairy again.
Absolutely, I think...
Okay, one last question. If your life was a movie, what would the title be?
I think it's either it's a movie or a book.
Okay.
I think Simple Man is a title that I think I'll keep for myself.
Okay.
Pratik, you thought about it and you came, na? There's nothing.
No, I was asked this question earlier also. Somewhere, so I know the answer.
I have been asked and now I can't think of my answer. Because what's going to happen, I'm going to say something and I'm like, see, this time उसने ये बोला था. अब मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, मैंने कुछ तो बोला था.
Okay.
You know, something like a girl from the hills, a girl, something to do with hills
or maybe
something like
the
that.
Girl Who Made It.
The Girl Who Made It. Okay, The Girl Who Made It. And there's a lot of them made it too.
Well, we'll leave that to the audience.
Or maybe the reclusive star.
Oh.
Oh, nice. See, she thought about it and came with something amazing. Well, on that note, thank you so much. This was a really fun chat. Thank you so much for your time.